Preacher here. This is a day in the life of a biker. It's a great day to go out for a ride. Man, that sky today is so beautiful. I had to go out and make an emergency trip to the parts store. Bought an oil filter earlier, and turns out somebody switched boxes. Wrong filters in the box, so I'm not going to try to return it. I can use it on different of my vehicles, but I'm going to go pick one up anyway. So I've been thinking a little bit about motorcycle profiling. You know, a lot of people talk about it, and some people say, oh, if you obey the law, you won't be profiled. It's not a thing. Quit doing 80 in a 35 and popping wheelies. Well, let me tell you something. Profiling's a real thing, and it don't matter who you are. It don't matter if you're an independent or if you're in an outlaw club or a family club. You're going to be profiled. You could be in a hog and you'll be profiled. You know, I believe everybody needs to get on board for fighting for motorcycle rights. I can give you a lot of different stories. One of them was when I was the president for Enraged for Christ. I was leading the pack, and we were heading over to Road Dog Cycles to take the kids to get pictures with Santa, to deliver some canned food for the community and toys for local children. Out just doing really good stuff for the community. Nothing bad, nothing wrong. And as we're heading into town, as we start to come into Tenaire, we start running into, we pass a cop. And he acts like he really wants to get in behind the pack. Well, my wife just happened to be in the car with a bunch of kids behind us. My car is a retired police interceptor, Crown Victoria. So she's driving because she's taking not just our kids, but other kids from people in the club so they can take their pictures with Santa on a Harley, which is a really cool thing to do this time of year, or that time of year. So the cop couldn't get behind the pack to pull us over and, you know, harass us. So he gets behind her. And my wife's not one of those drivers that speeds, so she's not flying to keep up with the pack. And she's not one of those drivers that runs stop signs and does all that to keep up with the pack either. She's obeying the law. Well, we pull in and we start parking, and I look up, and this cop is right on my wife's tail. She's getting ready to park across the street. He throws on the lights to pull her over. And so she turns into a parking spot that is right there and figures I'll just safely park since we're already where we're going. And the cop starts harassing her. He comes up to the door and first tries to accuse her of having a stolen car, and then tried to accuse her of kidnapping kids that weren't hers, because there were some obvious differences in the children. And really all he was trying to do at that point, I realized what was going on. Took my helmet off, pulled my phone out from across the street, started recording, yelled over to some of my club brothers who had been around and asked them to start recording, and we started recording the situation. And what this cop was really doing was trying to get info out of my wife about the club and what we were doing. You know, and all we were doing was blessing the community. We brought a bunch of canned food and toys to help the local families. And we brought the kids to get pictures with Santa. And so they're trying to drum up some kind of charge because they realize that the people are recording everything to have a reason for pulling my wife over at this point. And since they couldn't get her on speeding or running a stop sign, and at this point they realized that they couldn't bring up the, oh, you stole a car thing, or the kids had been kidnapped when the parents for the kids were there and, had been on the bikes. They say, well, you crossed a double yellow line to park. And that's the kind of stuff they'll do. They'll pull you over, drum up a charge, and try to get information out of you. This is profiling. You don't have to be in a motorcycle or anything like that, but you can be pulled over because of an association. You can be pulled over because you're near an event, and it's not right. We were doing nothing wrong. This was a Christian club doing stuff to help the community. Profiling is a real thing. And so it's important to stand up for motorcycle rights. It's important to stand up and make sure that we don't get treated that way. So just be aware that even though as Christians we may not be condemned in Christ. Romans 8:1, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus, that the world will condemn you off of anything. And they don't care if you're Christian or not. They don't care if you're male or female or what race you may be. They just care about what they can do to get themselves money, what kind of picture they can paint. So when you start hearing about motorcycle biker rights, when you start hearing about profiling, understand it don't matter who you are or what you're in. If you ride motorcycles, it's going to come to you. It's important to stand up for it and to try to get these laws passed. These laws that help us that ride motorcycles not be profiled for no reason at all. Anyway, I hope this helped you. You guys have a blessed day. Talk to you later.